guys, it's Kai here and welcome to another video. This video is going to be a little bit different because right now my goal is to get to under 200 pounds, but I noticed that over the past 10 months I've lost a little bit over 50 pounds, maybe closer to 60, and I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I've had to change in order to be able to lose that weight. So I have 5 lifestyle changes that I had to make in order to lose weight. So let's get straight to it, but I also have a bonus at the end that you don't want to miss because this was the key to me yo-yoing so much. All right, so let's get straight to it. Okay, so the first thing that I had to change was I had to start cooking at home consistently. So this was one of the hardest things for me, especially over the past year, because I had started a new job working third shift, and while I was getting adjusted to it, I started gaining a lot of weight because I was so tired all the time, and I was getting a lot of my meals frozen from the grocery store. I don't eat a lot of fast food, but sometimes I was picking up quick things here and there from different restaurants. But after I gained 35 plus pounds, I had to have a hard look at myself in the mirror and say, okay, what is the easiest thing that I could commit to right now that might not help me lose weight quickly, but it will help at least change things and help me gain some confidence? And that is when I started cooking more of my meals at home. And also, I've been vegan on and off for a long time. I think I was what people would call a dirty vegan, and I just had a lot of bad junk food vegan habits. So that was even more of a reason that I had to learn to cook my meals at home. So I started cooking things with a lot of veggies, a lot of smoothies, making my own desserts and things at home because I had such a sweet tooth. And once I learned how to commit to that, my weight started dropping slowly, but I wasn't dealing with the misery of constantly eating out, going to the store, grabbing junk food, and constantly being frustrated with how much weight that I was gaining. So as soon as I learned to start cooking at home and being consistent with it, my weight stopped increasing. Okay, so the second lifestyle change that I had to make in order to stop gaining weight is to stop having cheat days. Now, I don't think this is something that works for everybody, but I am willing to bet that it works for most people. Let me explain. I am a food addict. If you give me a bag of chips, I'm gonna eat the whole bag of chips in one day. If you get me a package of cookies, I'm gonna eat the entire package of cookies in one day. If you give me 2 tubs of ice cream, I will eat it all in one day. Okay, I've done this before. And moderation and eating within portion sizes and stuff like that, it just doesn't work with me. It doesn't click with my head. And I have a very all or nothing mentality. So that is the reason why cheat days don't work for me, because if I have a cheat day on the 7th day of the week because I've been doing so good on the first 6 days, the cheat day might go well, but it might not end. It might turn into 2 cheat days and then 3 cheat days, and then next thing you know, I'm just completely off and I've given up on the journey because I'm losing control of what I eat. So this is what I find works for me. And by the way, I don't deprive myself of anything, but what I like to do now is when I crave something, I will have it, but I will find a way to have a healthier version of it or less of it, and I will do it a little bit throughout the week. That way I'm not gaining weight from it whenever I eat it, and I don't have to feel deprived. So yeah, no cheat day. I have a little bit of something indulgent throughout the week so that I don't feel like I'm about to lose my mind. Okay, so the third lifestyle change that I've had to make in order to be consistent with my health journey is to find healthy alternatives to the more indulgent things that I like to eat. And this is something that was really hard for me, but it got easier once I started getting in the habit of cooking in the kitchen. But let me tell you, for everything that you eat that is indulgent, that is always sabotaging your progress, you can find a healthier way to make it, I promise. So things like pizza, you can find a healthier way to make pizza. Ice cream, you can find a healthier way to make ice cream, or an alternative for ice cream that is much lower in calories, much lower in carbs, lower in sugar, whatever it is, you can find it. I know one time a few years ago, I was dealing with a French fry addiction, And I would go get French fries from fast food restaurants several times a week, sometimes 2 to 3 times in a day. And so to combat the issue, what I did was question, okay, what is it about French fries that has me so hooked on it? What is it that I'm craving that French fries is giving me? So French fries has starch, and French fries has a lot of oil, and sometimes they're even crispy depending on how fresh they are. So instead of going out to get French fries all the time, I made my own oven roasted fries at home. I peeled the potatoes, I cut them into strips like French fries, I seasoned them really well, put some oil on them, baked them in the oven for about 45 minutes, and it gave me everything that I was looking for when it came to what I was craving in a French fry. So that is just to show you that you can overcome the things that you are addicted to, because after that moment, I never had a French fry addiction again. I am not hooked on French fries anymore. You cannot possibly make me hooked on French fries again, knowing that I can make something similar at home and it's much more healthier and it's a lot more rewarding. Okay, so number 4 is understanding how willpower works. So this is really important because a lot of times you'll hear fitness influencers or people who are currently on their health journey, and they're telling you you have to have willpower, you have to stay motivated. And while those things are true, I find them to be a bit of a half myth, because willpower is something that depletes very easily. And so what do you do when you have no willpower left? So what I have learned is to set myself up so that I use as little willpower as possible and still have the success that I want. So for example, if you haven't seen my videos lately, you know that I meal prep sometimes. The reason that I meal prep is because I'm probably feeling a little bit tired, a little bit discouraged, unmotivated, and I know that if I don't have healthy meals made already, I'm gonna start making some bad decisions, and I don't want that to happen. So if I meal prep a few days at a time, at least on those days, I don't have to think so much about what I'm going to eat, right? So therefore, I don't have to use any willpower on those days. I don't have to feel motivated. I don't have to feel inspired in any way. All I have to do is go in the fridge or the freezer, take out a meal, microwave it, and I have something healthy to eat without even thinking about it. It's that simple. So that is one way I try to save my use of willpower in order to have success. But I will tell you, there are times where you are going to need it. It's not something that you can completely go without. You're gonna need willpower, you're gonna need some motivation. And I like to save that for the times I really need it. For instance, when I work out, I hate working out, and I recently just started a new workout routine. I don't like it every single time I do it, but that's what I save my willpower for, so that I don't have to always use it for what I eat. So the less willpower that you use, and the more you plan ahead and set yourself up for success day by day, week by week, the more successful you will be on your health journey and being more consistent. So the 5th lifestyle change that I've had to make is learning how to build my plate. So this is gonna look different depending on what type of diet that you have, but I think that the way that I've learned to do it can apply to people overall, no matter how you eat. And what I like to do is, for lunch and dinner, I have about 40-50% vegetables on my plate, and then the rest of it is a mixture of a healthy protein and a healthy carb. I find that when I do this, I am much more fulfilled. I tend to not overeat, and I don't know what it is, but having vegetables on my plate does not activate that part of my brain that wants me to keep eating more and more nonstop until all the food is gone. So whether it's for nutrition or whether it's for mental reasons, this is something that I have to do in order to stay consistent, because like I said, when I have half a plate of veggies, I tend to not overeat so much. And usually when I have breakfast or something sweeter, I like to pair it with some fruit. Now, I'm not perfect at this. I don't do this 100% of the time, but you'll see in my videos that I like to do this most of the time. Okay, now number 6, this is the bonus, and this one is probably the most important, but I don't know if it applies to everybody, but this is something that I've had to learn in order to stop yo-yoing so much on my diet, and that is having no grains and no gluten. Now, I'm not gonna say that I'm gluten-free and grain-free. You might see me have them every once in a while, but I haven't had them lately, and by accident, I noticed that it's helping me control my cravings. I have such a bad sweet tooth, and on top of that, I am a food addict, so I tend to devour whatever it is that's in front of me in very large portions. I've had moments where I felt insanely out of control, like I had no choice in what I ate, and there was just this monster inside of me controlling my every thought, my every move when it came to food, and it was never good. So with the combination of everything that I've told you, and on top of that, taking out the grains and the gluten, I don't have insulin spikes that are causing me to crave more sugar. And also because of that, I have to be more creative and learn to make things in a much healthier and cleaner way. And it's just not triggering my appetite in the same way things with grains and gluten does. So again, I don't know if this is doable for everybody. I don't know if it's realistic, but I know so far it's working for me. I feel pretty good. And I've replaced my grains with things like quinoa, and I always have a gluten-free pasta that doesn't have corn and potato starch. So lentil pasta and chickpea pasta. And I also use the Simple Meals brand. I find that their stuff is really good. I don't use this brand a lot, but I find that whenever I have a craving for things that have grains or gluten, that this brand is a really, really good, healthy replacement. And when it comes to being gluten-free, for the most part, I tend to just buy things that don't need gluten in it anyways. You save a lot of money that way. And on top of that, a lot of those gluten-free things that you find at the store are not gonna be that healthy anyways. They're gonna have like a lot of potato starch, corn starch, who knows what else. So like I said, Simple Meals is a really good replacement. If you use pasta, buy one ingredient legume pasta, so lentils or chickpeas or split peas, things like that. And that's what's gonna keep you on the straight and narrow when it comes to being gluten and grain free. And it's also going to help your appetite and control your cravings, I promise. All right, you guys, so that's gonna be it for this video. I hope that at least one of these tips has helped you. I know these things have been a game changer in my weight loss, and I do think that if I would have learned these things a lot sooner, I wouldn't have yo-yoed so much, and I wouldn't have had so many failures and slip-ups throughout the years of trying to lose weight. All right, that's gonna be it. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next week.